So one of the things I wanted to point out about if you're trying to meet women who don't speak English well is that having a really good sense of humor is very, very helpful along those lines, because either there are two things: humor and being very sexual. Right? That's the two poles, or the two dynamics that you can oscillate between. So with Future here, or Thompson, is very good with the humor, and I found that guys in Asia, I mean, the ones who get really good grades tend not to be they tend to be very serious about things, and a little bit anal, and everything has to be done by the book, and maybe they saw a documentary about don't do drugs, and so now they can't do drugs ever, and if anyone does, it's bad, or something like that. You want to loosen up and figure out how to joke around, because one of the breakthroughs I made when I was trying to attract women who didn't speak English or Chinese was that I started acting really goofy and silly, like an anime character, or like, you know, just like hee hee hee, or just whatever. You know, I become very physical too. That's a big part of it, and she just takes your lead. One thing about Japan is that built into the language is acknowledgement, or like an affirmation. So if they have to say "ah so" or "so desu ka," as part of just being polite. So they've already, even if they totally don't believe in what, like, agree with what you're saying, they just kind of have to give you a nodding and affirmation.
Wow, that's so powerful.
So you get investment or compliance.
Go over that again. They have to say "aso" or "so desu ka"?
Yeah, it was just, this is what I was taught in my 3 years of Japanese. Is that Jamie's learned Japanese a lot, right? Any native Japanese here?
That's nuts. Who else? Chinese doesn't have embedded honorifics, does it? Because like
no, yes, and Japanese has the
Japanese has it. Yeah, Korean and Japanese have embedded honorifics. There's so much there.
Yeah, it's
so much
put into the language.
Yeah, having a subordinate and superior relationship embedded in language is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
For them having to just go through the motions, it's like a disconnect with their mind if they don't eventually connect with, you know, with what they're saying and doing. If their mind is saying, no, this is total bullshit, eventually it'll come together and you can use that. But humor is a big part of it. I mean, one of the guys who asked me about how do I attract these girls who don't speak my language often are too uptight. And they just, if they just learn how to have fun, that's going to be a big part of it.
Well, literally, like, building off of that, like, after I introduce myself to my classes, the first thing I tell them is to have fun. Mm-hmm. That is the first piece of instruction I give to people who have paid a lot of money to listen to me talk, is you need to have fun. It is the #1 piece of game, is enjoying yourself. And what that means is making fun a mission. Like, you're right. All the reasons that you're not having fun are correct. People are having vapid conversations, drunk people suck, the girls are bitches, the drinks are too expensive, and everything is stupid, and yes, you'd probably be better off reading or doing whatever thing that makes you feel morally superior to the people in the environment. You are right. Do you want to get with these girls or not? And the thing is, so the first thing is to make it a mission to have fun and to enjoy yourself, and that's, like you said, it's tied in with take yourself and the experience less seriously. Take the entire thing less seriously. Just relax and enjoy yourself. But like when I'm out with the people that I hang out with are not, like, I will hang out with a natural over somebody who studied this stuff 9 times out of 10, because the guy who studied this stuff, if he's not at a really high level, is probably going to be sitting there like a panther waiting to strike. He's like, all right, where are the girls? Where are the bitches? I'm going to open. All right, Openator is here.
Opening now.
Yeah. And whereas like my guy friends and I, we go out and we, you know, sometimes we go out with girls, our female friends, and we shoot the shit and have fun. And then we see a girl, we go, dude, that one's yours. Go, 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 go. And then if it doesn't go well, then we make fun of him or make fun of her. Or I'll go over and I'll be, why didn't you like my friend? He's amazing. We've been friends since we were 10. You know, like just like. But that's the thing is, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the point is it works overwhelmingly better than sitting there with like your beer shield being like, okay, all right, gonna implement the things that I learned on that internet forum. The time has come. Game has happened. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. It's the first piece of instruction I give to guys is to have fun. I cannot echo it enough. In fact, I love you, David. You're awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm loving how you're reinforcing this very important value that we're giving to people. Like, you're bringing value to their lives when you interact with them, because not only are you having fun, but if you're having fun, eventually they'll start to have fun, and that's really the second part of it. You know, you have fun, and then make others have fun.
Basically, I'll try to do like a crip course in frame control, which is that a frame is your underlying understanding of the interaction. It's the underlying assumptions or underlying belief systems that inform an interaction. So right now, you're all my students and I'm a teacher. And same thing with David, right? That's just the frame, the assumption you have. But if you see me on the street with my camera, you're thinking, what a fucking annoying tourist. And if you see me at McDonald's with my chicken McNuggets, you think that fucking fat American, right? Right? Which is cool, right? So that's just, those are the assumptions you bring into an interaction. So what some of the key features of frames as it applies to seduction is that whoever has the strongest frame, whoever has the strongest frame tends to win, right? It's it can get kind of convoluted, but like if you've got a strong enough belief system, then you will tend to overwhelm people's belief systems with that. And so if you believe you are the hottest shit, then the girls that you talk to are gonna be like, oh, well, he's the hottest shit. Now, obviously, their assumption, they come in with assumptions, and those are always going to buttress against yours. But the point about having fun is, if you are really committed to your good time, other people will fall in line. They just will, and it happens over and over and over and over again. So it's weird. You gotta have faith, but it's very, very, very important.
Yeah, totally. What's peculiar to my coaching style that I haven't really seen in anyone else, I don't know if it's your experience, is when you're out interacting with people, so in other words, you're in the field, so to speak, and at the academy we have a group in field at least once a month, and on those I send out a mass text, which is that in the text I say to everybody, if any of you start talking about game, including techniques and all that crap, like mainly techniques or routines or lines, or what to do next, or
cock punch.
You are responsible for punching. You should punch him. Right. You are allowed to, and in fact, I recommend that you punch him.
I tell my guys that during breaks, don't talk about game. I say don't when we're taking breaks in seminar, get to know each other, learn each other's favorite movies, pastimes, dreams, hopes, inspirations, fears. Don't talk about game. Don't discuss the mechanics, because what happens is the mechanics help you get in your head. Like you crawl up in your mind, especially the smarter. By the way, smarter you are, the worse you're going to do this, right? Where you crawl up in your brain and you go, I'm analyzing the situation. That is a two set. Right? And so what I mean, that's what I have my approach coaches for is to like body slam people who are like, when the guys get in groups of 2 or 3, I'm assuming they're talking about game, and I just like tackle them because I don't literally, guys, like, but just.
Put the helmets on.
Settle down, right? No, but I know it's because I'm a Marine, so they're like, does he really fucking tackle people? So, but you gotta break those up, because it should be about the interactions. But yeah, the game stuff is it's weird because you gotta know it, but then you gotta put it aside when you're actually doing the interactions and use it as a reference tool and a diagnostic tool without having it corrode your experience with girls and in the field.
Yeah. So I just recently saw this clip interview with Tom Cruise on the Inside the Actor Studio. So if you haven't picked this up, this interview series is modeled after Inside the Actor Studio, and this is Tom Cruise here. And anyway, so in the interview with Tom Cruise, for those who've seen it, the interviewer asked, he's the dean of this acting school, asked him, when you're preparing for a part, do you go and recall past events in your life? So, for example, in Magnolia, when he had to do that scene with his dying father, was it similar to, did you have to recall what it was like when you went to the deathbed of your dying father, or when your father was dying? And he started he got all flustered. But eventually this theme from that point on in the interview was, he is in the moment. Thinking back to those things just clouds his mind. Instead, he decides in his character, and he might take months and months and months, or years, in fact, to decide what his character is going to be. and think and feel in a certain situation. And then in the moment, once they're rolling, he just goes with it. And even if it's a really awkward feeling, that's what his character that he's already prepared for is mandated. So what I'm saying is that the prep work you're doing before you go in to interact with a woman is what you're hoping, that's pretty much it. That's going to be what you're going to count on when you're actually in an interaction in real time.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I've more and more, like, if I was doing an aura dating thing, because I mean, your whole like long-term training thing just gives me like a man boner, but the like, I think I would definitely put guys in acting class or have like a theater guy come in, because I think the ability to figure out, to sort of ride her emotions, like being able to come at her from relate to where she's coming from, but also the ability to sort of get out of your head and be in the moment. It's a very actory thing, and the smarter you are, the more left-brained you are, the more of a technical background you have, the less you're going to be able to do that on the fly. And you know, if you theater training, I actually, as somebody who has directed actors and has and have worked a lot with actors, they actually are frivolous people who have nothing to say. But there's a lot of really good stuff in that training. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely, that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
the training. So I did one of my think backs.
I only had one. I had one,
okay,
which is like the difference between training in Asia and training in the West, right. And it's that's the same thing, but there's an interesting the same tendency. It all comes back to the face thing. Where it's not like we don't have societal ramifications of our actions in America. Like, it's not like people don't judge you. Like, it's not that, but it's that we don't have a fucking name for it. You know, it's not something where I say face and all of you go, yeah, okay. Whereas if I said that in the West, they'd be like, you mean your face, right? Like, it's, so I think it comes down to that, where, you know, like you said, your Ph.D. makes a effing difference in your credibility, yeah. Right? And your authority, and the fact that people are sitting here, and the reference points people have as to what are the codified relationships that people have. So where that comes to is where my actual point, which is, it's harder to break Asian dudes out of their preconceived notions. It's harder, like, one of the things that I encounter over and over and over again is that white girls don't like Asian guys. And it's like, that's just not true. Like, I've just seen it so many times, and I've seen all my workshops, I've seen it from my Asian instructors, just not true. But you tell Asian students that, and they're like, nope, it's not possible, can't be done, can't be done, I'll never have a blonde. And it's just garbage. So it's getting guys to break out of that, and so it's real toxic, where you have things like you know, you got to have that car, you got to have that job or that thing. So when somebody comes in with a real revolutionary way of looking at things, then they, instead of saying, huh, that's some good data, they just like, nope, that dude's crazy. Yeah. And I find that of course, again, that's a human thing. Everybody wants some credentials and some licensing, but I feel like having taught everywhere, I find that with Asian guys especially, it's like, nope, this is how the world works, and this is how things are, and you are full of crap because you're telling me this thing. Until Friday night comes and they go, oh, you're a wizard. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I find that the thing that holds Asian guys back, and being in Singapore, being based here, and almost all my clientele is Asian, isn't the techniques. They learn those very quickly. I mean, they're very good students with the paper and the pen. It's the limiting beliefs and the inner game that I'm struggling with. And I end up being a therapist. I really feel like, in many ways, I should start prescribing. I'm working on that. I'm putting together my own drugstore, but yeah, I mean, once you realize that that's what's holding you back, you can't be in denial about it anymore.
Yeah.
So just go and learn about how to overcome those. And again, Tony Robbins is a good example of
the
a guy who's built an entire
industry
about that. So one other thing I wanted to mention was when I was talking about the hawks and the doves, and I don't want it to sound like this is a competition, even though man to man it actually is. That Robert Greene in his characterization of the rake talked about how in repressed societies the rake is even more successful. In fact, he needs repression to push against. He needs the taboo. Otherwise, there is no there's nothing that's tempting women to do what their these repressed fantasies are. And what's great about Asia is that there's a lot of repression, especially dealing with sexuality. And when people say, is it harder, is it easier? Often that comes from like socioeconomic background, like is it easier if they're poor? But what I found is just like the more repressive society is, the easier it is to have a very flourishing dating life, to use a euphemism.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to like our Facebook fan page for videos only on Facebook.